Hey guys, what's going on? This is Brian with Games Under Pressure, bringing you another episode of Maxed, the daily series where we take a look at a new or sometimes old PC game. We crank up all the settings as high as they'll go, and we show you a glorious, beautiful 4K video. So today we're checking out a game that I really like. This is a very fun game. I definitely recommend it. It's called Westerado Double Barreled. This is a game put out by Adult Swim Games, and it is unlike anything that I've played in a very long time. So basically it's a little bit of like a puzzle game in a strange way. What you do is you basically have to find somebody in the world, and the way that you find them is by completing tasks which give you clues about this guy that you're hunting. So what I'm going to do, I don't want to tell you why you're hunting him. I'm going to let you watch this intro first of all, and then I'll be back in a few minutes, and then I'll explain some more of the details. So there you go. That's pretty intense. You have to kill your wounded brother. So that is basically the story. That's the setup here. So you're hunting the guy that killed your entire family and burned down your farm. And like I said at the outset of the video, what you'll do is, and I'm having a hard time shooting the lock off this gate. Sometimes the perspective can be a little bit weird because it's this strange sort of like side-scrolling isometric view, and every once in a while the depth perception becomes a little bit finicky, but there we go. And so basically what you're doing is hunting down the guy that killed everybody, and you get clues about his identity by completing missions. So for example, like one person, well, you saw right here, so oh, he has an edged hat. So you know that the guy has an edged hat. And what you could do, in essence, is go around killing everybody with an edged hat, but part of the fun is actually trying to find out who killed your family. And you find clues by completing missions for people. And the missions are pretty simple. You saw the buffalo one at the beginning, and some of them are sort of like that. So sometimes you'll walk around and have to kill a certain group of people, or find something in the world and bring it back, or talk to people. So they do really mix it up. And I gotta say, from a gameplay perspective, the variety of missions is enough to keep you interested, and you never really do the same thing twice, which is great. I think it's also really important to mention the personality in this game, and there's a lot of personality. You know, with a lot of modern games, I feel like some of that personality gets lost, or the game doesn't really have a strong voice. It just seems sort of meandering and meaningless. I gotta say, with Westerado, though, I have been so pleasantly surprised by the bursting personality. I mean, this game is bursting at the seams with personality. The visual style is simplistic, but when you see, and you'll see it in a second here, when it zooms out, when the camera zooms out and you're not so close up seeing all the pixelized graphics, it's actually kind of a pretty game. You know, I'm playing this at 4K. I don't know if it's actually like 1080p up-res to 4K or not. There aren't any specific resolution options in the option menu, so you can just sort of set it to full screen and that's it. I have it's really sharp in practice, so I have a feeling it is up-resing to 4K. But look at this. I mean, it's actually kind of nice looking, isn't it? I mean, there's some very basic movement in the environment. Birds fly around. There'll be fires that are raging, and it's sort of pretty. I don't know. As you're walking through this world, you'll get little people that call out to you. So you can see that there's on the right-hand side, that woman on the patio, she's calling out to me. And they'll try to get your attention any way they can, and those people that call out to you, they'll typically have a mission. So this woman, what she's asking me to do is go find her drunk of a husband in the bar. What's neat about these missions is that sometimes you go into them and you don't actually know how you are supposed to complete them. So as you'll see in a second here, when I go into the saloon, I find the guy in question, and you have to walk around a little bit. I found him on the first try, but that's just because I went up to the guy that was sitting there all by himself drinking. And you'll see that the solution isn't immediately obvious. And you try, because of the branching dialogue trees here and the multiple options, I try to get him to come home peacefully. And you can see through that really great little writing there, he's like, yeah, no thanks. So then I was like, well, maybe I'll pull out my gun, and sure enough, that worked. So it adds an interesting little dynamic there, and you can see him following me. It's each little interaction is almost like a puzzle in and of itself. But now that you have sort of an idea of the core mechanics of the game, I'm going to skip forward a little bit in the story and show you some different things, some things that really sort of spice up the core gameplay. Here's a mechanic that they introduce pretty early in the game, and they repeat it every so often, but it's okay that they repeat it because it's super, super fun. So every once in a while, this is, I think, the third encounter like this, you will just be on a horse and you'll be running from point A to point B. Within this scene, on the screen, you can move wherever you'd like. So you can get in front of the horses, you can get behind the horses, you can position yourself on these guys. And because it is in this side-scroller vein, it's actually sort of cool to have to line up shots. And the gunplay mechanics are very neat too. So if you tap the left trigger, you reload, and you reload one bullet at a time. So if you keep pressing LT, 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 you reload your entire revolver. And then by tapping RB, you bring out your gun. By tapping right trigger, you cock the hammer on your gun, and then if you press right trigger again, you fire. So it's not as simple as just jamming on a trigger. You actually, number one, have to concentrate on positioning yourself, and then you have to concentrate on reloading, pulling out the gun, and cocking it, pulling back the hammer, and then firing. So it's a very, very interesting mechanic, and it's something that's a lot of fun whenever it crops up. Here's another little section, a new mechanic, and I mean, I shouldn't say it's new, but it's a little bit different than riding on the back of a horse, and this is just basically on-foot combat. So here I go into a mine where, of course, they don't like me, they want me dead, and the shooting is really interesting. You have hats in the upper left-hand corner, and those act almost like a health bar. So if you get, I just got shot there, that basically takes off one of my hats, and when you're all out of hats, then you die. When you die, you restart in the town, in that bed, and you lose half of your money. So you don't want to die. It's a little bit of a pain in the ass, especially when you're in different parts of the map and maybe you're quite a ways away from that bed. To have to restart is a total pain. But the shooting mechanic is actually really, really fun. I actually found myself seeking out combat so I could engage with this mechanic, which is a really good sign, and it feels really good, even though it is a side scroller at heart, sort of this weird isometric view. The shooting, it gives you a lot of different options because you can move anywhere, you can try to position yourself. It's a really great system. So that will about do it for the video on Westerado. I love this game. This is a surprise for me. When I saw the trailers and some of the photos of it, I thought, well, you know, I'm not a big Wild West fan, but I gotta say, it's really doing it for me. It's a fun game. I'm sure I'll enjoy it for many, many hours. So I'd recommend picking it up. It's only $15. It's a great deal. I'm sure you guys will have a lot of fun with it. And if you like videos like this, please subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. That's going to allow me to keep doing videos like this. And we post a new episode of Maxed every single day. Yep, that's right. Every single day you can see a glorious, beautiful, eye-melting 4K video on the latest games. We're also doing a new series called Maxed by Request, where I play games based on your suggestions and give them the max treatment. So we got a few coming up already. Somebody requested Commander Keen, which is a little bit of a strange decision for a series that does things in 4K, but we'll give it a shot. And also, we're doing Metro Last Flight. We got a request for that. So leave your requests in the comments below, and I will try to get to as many as I possibly can. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you tomorrow.